2015-16 school year has begun here in Garland ISD, which also means we have 58,000 students and teachers now walking through the hallways and entering our classrooms. It also means we have a new season of School Scene here on GRS TV. Hello everyone, I'm Chris Moore. One of the new aspects, in addition to the students and the teachers and all that comes with a new year, is our bond program. If you remember, 2014, we focused last fall on a $455 million bond, which voters overwhelmingly supported. One of the main players in that bond and making sure that it all gets underway and maintains itself throughout the course of the next 5 years is Joel Falcon, our Executive Director of Facilities and Maintenance. Joel, thank you for being here with us today.
Chris, thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, I know your plate is full in a district of this size, 71 campuses, 85 total facilities, and now you have this massive bond project on your plate. Tell us the initial stages and kind of where we stand and how you're going to work that into the school year.
Well, Chris, we're real excited with the passage of the 2014 bond program. The bond program will be separated into 4 phases, and those 4 phases will take about 54 months. And so based on the amount of time and the length and the amount of work, we have hired a program management firm that is an expert in the field of K-12 renovations and new construction. And that group is called Jacobs Program Management Firm. And they're going to hit the ground running and help us along the way with all these projects and new constructions.
And obviously, as we mentioned, 71 campuses. Each of those will be touched at some point over the next 54 months. You've had experience working in districts of large size. You came to us from Houston. You had worked in Dallas ISD prior to that. How will we go about ensuring that the work at the campuses won't interfere with the school day?
Well, that's a real good question, Chris, and that's something that we're always mindful of. You know, the one thing we want to do, first of all, is provide a conducive learning environment at every facility, at every school. And to do that, we want to make sure that the construction is done after hours. So we'll be having the contractors, the subcontractors, get to the schools once school has been dismissed and work their 8 to 10 hours in the evening, and if need be, on weekends.
Joel, we had a lot of community forums last year, a lot of input that helped shape the direction we were going to take with the bond. One of the most interested aspects that community members had regarded the security and the safety components of the bond. A lot of our campuses are 40, 50, some pushing 60 years old. Open areas when you enter into the schools, that's normal. We did not face the society issues that long ago that we are now. You're going to go in and you're going to put a lot of secured vestibules at the front of these buildings. Kind of explain to our audience what's going to go into that.
Well, Chris, as you know, safety and security is our #1 goal, not only with the district but also with Jacobs Program Management Group. So what we'll be doing is we'll be working very closely with the principal and the design team and coming up with a vestibule that is, again, like I said earlier, suitable, that is visitor friendly, but yet the main focus will be safety and security.
I think 2 of the biggest challenges with regard to setting those up at campuses may be Naaman Forest and Lakeview Centennial High School. For our viewers that have not had the opportunity to visit those campuses, there's a stretch probably 40 to 50 yards long from the main entrance to the front office. Kind of explain the concept of that setup.
Sure. You're absolutely right. Those are huge areas that we have to work with. And so what the initial design look is going to be is basically an office complex there in the very foyer of this large area. So it'll be housing some office personnel. It may even have some facilities and so forth. But that will be the main check-in point of the school. Whereas before you would have to walk a good 50 yards before you got to an office personnel.
Some projects that have recently been completed prior to the beginning of the school year addressed art rooms, addressed football fields, as well as weight rooms. Our weight rooms had not been touched and updated in years. What went into the weight room redesign?
Well, Chris, just to step back a little bit, if you recall when the Citizens Bond Committee approved the bond package, they also carved out $50 million that would go as a capital improvement program. That $50 million is going to be managed by facilities. And so with that funding, we were able to put brand new artificial turfs at the practice fields at all 7 high schools, and that has been completed, and it's wonderful because of the past several years with the weather and the drought, it became an unsafe area. So now with the turf, it's going to guarantee that there'll be no injuries of that nature.
And it's also can be utilized by bands, different fine arts programs, correct?
Soccer games, and down the road, maybe we can also convert those to JV sites where we can conduct junior varsity football games, soccer games, and so forth. The art rooms, as you recall, last year the superintendent began the initiative to have art in all the elementary classrooms, and we're phasing it in. Last year, I believe we had 12 schools. This year we did 13, so, and they were ready at the start of school year.
All these projects, 85 facilities, 5 years, which one are you looking most forward to?
Well, what I'm looking most forward to, Chris, is that number one, that we get the job completed, all of them. Number two, we get it done on time, and number three, we get it done within budget. Chris, the two new areas I'm excited about are the natatorium and the CTE. Those are really, I'm looking forward to that, and I know all the students of the Garland ISD will look forward to it, as well as all the citizens.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you being here with us today. We know you're going to take care of the bond and look forward to seeing you on future episodes of School Scene.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
The bond projects are just a portion of what's going on in the district right now. Here to share some of those other aspects with us is Caren Rodriguez.
Welcome to the first edition of Connect Ed, your source for Garland ISD news and event highlights. I'm your host, Caren Rodriguez. Celebrating the success of a unique high school to work program in North Texas, GISD hosted the Region 10 Project Search Host Business Liaison Recognition Breakfast September 11th. Project Search is a transition program that provides students with significant intellectual disabilities with real-life work experience, job training, and independent living skill development. The affair honored businesses that provide job experience opportunities to special education students from 6 local districts through Project Search partnerships. Business liaisons from Garland, Frisco, Fort Worth, Irving, Louisville, and Tyler ISDs were present, as was special guest, Project Search co-founder Aaron Riley. GISD became the first district to partner with a manufacturing company, Atlas Copco, through Project Search 3 years ago. The 19-year-old program traditionally works with hospitals across the country. Helping students get a head start on post-secondary goals, GISD hosted its annual College Night September 15th at the Curtis Colwell Center. The 2015-16 event was a great success, with more than 2,300 in attendance. Students and parents visited with representatives from 120 colleges, universities, trade schools, and military branches. The education fair followed eventful College Day celebrations at campuses, which featured students and staff sporting gear from institutions of higher learning. More than 2,500 community members received tips, tricks, and valuable resources at the 2015 Healthy Living Expo September 19th. A collaborative effort between GISD, the City of Garland, Baylor Medical Center at Garland, and the Garland Chamber of Commerce, this year's family-friendly event provided low-cost immunizations, wellness screenings, eco-friendly tips, and safety ideas. The day got off to a great start with the annual H2O 5K Walk and Run. The race drew several hundred participants of all ages. Inside the center, GISD hosted students and nurses performed 600 blood sugar screenings, while Baylor employees taught more than 100 adults and children hands-only CPR. Representatives from GISD Health Services Department, Employee Clinic, and campus clinics were also on hand to provide advice and additional information. GISD celebrated Attendance Awareness Month with inspiring messages, surprising facts, fun activities, and important documents this September. Several students shared why they think being at school every day is crucial, while others strive for perfect attendance to receive an award. Earlier in the month, a general attendance contract was sent home to be reviewed and signed by parents and students. This document outlined attendance expectations and consequences as impacted by the recently passed House Bill 2398. To watch a video covering new attendance guidelines, visit the district's YouTube account. Celebrating the vital collaboration between the Tri-Cities and District, the Garland Education Foundation hosted its Salute to Business and Education Luncheon September 28th. The affair honored outstanding educators and business partners. All 71 GISD Teachers of the Year were recognized for their dedication to student success. Elementary and Secondary District Teachers of the Year, Samantha Patton and Marie Peterson, also received $1,000 checks for their commitment to students. In addition, 4 corporate partners were awarded for their continued support. Randall Reed's Prestige Ford received the 2015 Foundation Award for initiating involvement with GISD within the last year. The Texas Instruments Foundation took the Innovation Award for promoting creativity and STEM learning in the classroom. Ecolab was honored with the Partner Award for having a long-standing 29-year partnership with GISD. And Baylor Medical Center at Garland collected the Mentor Award for supporting the Education Foundation financially and investing time to provide mentors and internship opportunities for students. For the third consecutive year, motivational speaker and trainer Dr. Adolph Brown visited with GISD parents, students, and staff. The sought-after speaker kicked off a year-long professional school-based mentoring program September 23rd, which will launch at 14 campuses this year. The series uses interactive lectures to engage family, community, and achieve positive results. For those who missed Brown's presentation, there's no need to worry. The rest of the community will have an opportunity to hear Brown's words of wisdom October 27th at the Curtis Colwell Center. And that's all for this edition of Connect Ed. For the most up-to-date information, visit the district website or follow us on Twitter at GISD News.
We're now joined by Herschel Acosta of Jacobs Program Management. Herschel, we appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
You are the man that is overseeing the implementation of this bond project. You'll be with us for the next 5 years.
That's right.
I know you've done school bonds in the past. Tell us about those experiences.
Yes, sir. I've had an opportunity to work in New Orleans. Our company was in charge of overseeing the recovery of the school district for the New Orleans Parish and Recovery School District. Had an opportunity to work there in K through 12. Had an opportunity to work in a bond program in Laredo, Texas early in my career. Had an opportunity to work on a bond program for the Houston Community College. As a matter of fact, this was a previous project before I came up here. So I have some experience in bond program, as well as the rest of my team that have also had similar experiences with DISD and some of the other school districts that surround the community.
Now, I know you are working this into phases. Where do we currently stand?
So right now we are working on phase 0. Phase 0 was the work that was started before we came on board, which included the baseball and softball fields. That work was about to bid when our contract was signed. So we're managing that through construction. We're about 30% into construction. We're hoping to be done by late this year and get ready for baseball and softball season. We're also working on the design for phase 1. We're probably about 40% into design. We should be done with those documents at the end of the year, and we'll be bidding that out early next year, which comes at a good time as companies get ready to start planning their year. We'll be ready to start next year, early next year.
Two of the projects that a lot of folks are interested in are the natatorium and the CTE High School. Tell us about those.
So the natatorium, it's quite an interesting project. You don't see those too many in the state of Texas and throughout the United States, but it's a facility to host a swimming pool with a capacity to hold about 900 folks to come in and watch the activities and swimming competitions. We are bringing in a lot of new technologies, particularly a Murtha pool. It's a state-of-the-art pool system that will be able to allow for better competition and just the use of the facilities. The plan is not only to use it within the district itself and to teach students and hold events, but also maybe perhaps open it to the community as well. So we're looking forward to that. The design was presented to the board, and we're having a lot of glass to be able to take advantage of the location and have it as a building that stands out and represents GISD as well. The other building is the CTE, the Career Technology and Education Center. That building will be housing a lot of the hands-on technology aspect of the educational process, particularly culinary and some of the arts and sciences that require a lot of hands-on. So automotive comes to mind, culinary. We'll have a couple of EMT spaces to teach medical sciences as well. And that is also another building that we're going to showcase as well. It's adjacent to the Naaman Forest High School, right along George Bush. And we're also shooting for a design that also just showcases, if you will, Garland ISD.
And those will sort of mirror one another right there on 190.
They will. There'll be one. The natatorium is actually on the north side of George Bush, and then the CT building will be on the south side. So they almost kind of mirror each other. They're in a good location, a growing location for the city of Garland, but also a lot of the nature of the buildings require a lot of visitors, and so there's some facilities around their hotels, and it's next to the Curtis Colwell Center. So it just allows for a good location to be able to get students in and out of those facilities.
Now, you mentioned the students coming in and taking swim lessons at the natatorium. I know that that's designed for third grade students throughout the district. What was considered with regard to that? Are there separate pools set up?
They are. There's two separate pool facilities. One would allow for more of a competition type pool for teaching and for swimming. The other pool allows more for teaching, and this is allowed to teach students basic water safety. So we do have two pools. We will also have diving facilities as well to allow for swimming competition and diving competition. And obviously within the competition, you have to have the facilities to be able to allow students to have a warm-up pool, so when they do diving, they're adequately heated up and ready to go into diving. And obviously we'll have the facilities required, locker rooms and bathrooms to be able to house those students whenever they come out and use the facilities.
The community was heavily involved throughout the 15 months prior to having the bond election. I know you guys had a hand in that as well. Now, you're going to keep the community involved moving forward. Some events that you've got coming up.
Absolutely. We have a major, we call it the community outreach event. This is where we come out and talk about the Phase 1 projects. As you had mentioned, we have 5 years in 4 phases. So right now we're focusing on Phase 1. We want to be able to let the community know, not only the citizens of the community, but also the contracting community as well as subcontractors, vendors, to be aware of what the work that is coming out so they can prepare themselves. This gives us about 3 months prior to bidding so folks can get everything ready. So when bid time comes around, we have a high interest in the work. What we've done is we divided the event into 2 parts. We'll have 2 presentations. Both presentations will be the same presentations to allow for folks that may be able to come right after work and join us at this event. And maybe some folks have to go and take care of other things and then come join us at 6 o'clock in the evening for the second presentation. We've set up a website separate from the Garland ISD website with the intention that we only focus on the bond program. The website is garlandisdbond.com, and what we've done in there is we've presented the overall execution plan. We've got an interactive map where you can see the projects that are in Phase 1, how they're grouped together in bid packages. We also have a one-sheet information for each particular project within the bond program. There you can see the budgets that have been assigned to each project, the schedule, and those will be updated on a monthly schedule as we move forward in the bond program. And most importantly, for the contracting community, we've also have a link to iSupplier. As you know, iSupplier is the system that Garland ISD uses for purchasing and for be able to get the word out to the contracting community on the work. So we also have a link for that. We try to make it as interactive and as interesting as possible for not only contractors but also for the citizens to be aware of what's going on in the bond program.
And I know that Jacob's site is separate from the district site, but you're also giving monthly updates to trustees, and so visitors can go to the Garland ISD site to watch the board presentations and also link tour your Jacobs.
That is correct. We have the privilege of going every month before the board and give them a quick update on what's going on in the bond program. I have the opportunity to go up there and talk to the board members, give them an update and let them know what's going on. And whenever the need occurs or we have contractors that we need contracts approved, we'll go up before the board to do that.
Herschel, you are a man who is on a mission, and we appreciate you taking the time with us today and look forward to visiting with you in the future as the bond rolls out and continues.
Well, thanks, sir. I appreciate that. Look forward to working with the community and with GISD, and look forward to a successful execution of the bond program.
And thank you as well for joining us here on this first episode of School Scene for the 2015-16 school year. We will see you soon.